and just stabs him repeatedly over and over and over again. Sup? Today I am going to film a get ready with me, but while I'm getting ready, I am going to attempt to come up with scary stories, like off the top of my head. So this might be interesting, it might be a total fail, but either way, I hope you enjoy. Okay, so this story starts out with a girl named Natalie. To paint you a picture, Natalie has long blonde hair. She's pretty shy. She doesn't talk to many people. She's just shy. She doesn't have very many friends. But all of a sudden, she starts acting really strange. She becomes irritated easily. She sleeps all day. She starts to smell like kind of like rotting, and her parents are a little concerned because this is totally out of her character. Why is she acting out? Why is she sleeping so much? Why does she smell so bad? They just couldn't figure out what was going on with her. So they make a doctor's appointment, and the doctor pretty much says like she's fine, like her vitals are all good. You know, she may just be going through something as a teenager at a young age, and it may just be, you know, whatever. One day, Natalie came running into her parents' room at night, and she's screaming, "Mom, Dad, there is something in my room. Like, I swear there's something in my room, and it has been watching me sleep for the past, like, week or two, and I'm telling you, I don't know what it is, but I'm terrified. Please, can I, like, sleep in here?" And they're like, "Natalie, you're just imagining things. Like, stop it. There's nothing watching you while you sleep. Like, relax. You know, you're imagining things. Go back to bed." And so she goes back to bed, and in the morning, her parents wake up, and Natalie's nowhere to be found. She's not in her bed, she's not in her room, she's not in the kitchen, in the living room. She is nowhere to be found. And they're like, what the heck? Like, where is she? What is going on? They see on her dresser a Polaroid. She has a Polaroid. She loves taking pictures on it. She's very creative. And they look at this Polaroid and they freak out, because in the Polaroid, she took a picture of herself, and right over her shoulder was a dark, almost too dark to be seen, but it was a dark figure standing right behind her, and its eyes were glowing red. And they freak out. Like, whoever this is in this photo, they must have taken our daughter. She is nowhere to be seen. Where is she? And so they go to the police and they show them this photo. And the police are like, that's weird. That doesn't really look like a person, because you can see her totally fine, but they're completely dark. Like it looks like a shadow figure. And the cops are like, that's really weird. Like, we can look for her. And so they file a missing person report, and they start searching for Natalie. Later that day, Natalie comes walking through the door. Just nonchalantly just walks through the door. Her parents are like, what the heck? Where have you been? You are in so much trouble. And she goes, I don't know. I remember taking a selfie with my Polaroid, and then I don't remember anything. The last thing I remember is taking that picture, and I woke up in someone's house, and I'm terrified because the people in that house were dead. And her parents go, where were you? What house? How did you get there? What's going on? And she goes, I don't know. I blacked out and I woke up there, and these people were just dead, and I don't know what happened. I don't think I did it. Like, I don't know what's going on, guys. And her parents are like, okay, like, I'm sure everything is going to be okay. Like, you just sleepwalked, maybe. And then she asks her parents, did you see the Polaroid that was on my desk? And her parents say, yep, we saw the Polaroid. And she goes, what was that thing behind me? And her parents pause, because they have no idea what to tell her. They have no idea what it was. They don't have a way to explain it, and they go, I don't know. It might have just been a freak thing with the Polaroid. I don't know. But we need to call the cops, and we need to tell them that there are people dead. Do you remember where the house was? And she goes, yeah, it's down the street. And so they call the cops, and the cops show up at the house, and they say that it was a double homicide. A couple was dead. Someone slit their throats, and they bled out. And there was blood everywhere. And the cops, asked Natalie, do you have any idea what happened here? And she goes, no, I woke up. I don't remember anything. I woke up, and they were just dead. I didn't do it, did I? There has to be a different explanation, because there's no way a young girl like you would just randomly in the middle of the night just kill this couple that you don't even know, right? And she goes, right, I don't know them. I don't know why I would do this. And so the cops are like, okay, we'll figure this out. You guys go back home and figure out what's going on. And Natalie goes to her room. Her parents decide to sit in the living room and have a glass of wine because it's been a stressful couple days. While they're enjoying their glass of wine, they hear extremely loud thumping upstairs. Like someone was taking the bed and just going like this in Natalie's room. And so they're like, what the heck? What is going on? So they run up to her room. The door will not open. They're trying extremely hard to open the door, and it will not open. And they still hear banging, 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 and they're freaking out. So the dad decides to kick down the door. He does this, and immediately they see Natalie smashing her head against her mirror while her bed and all the furniture in her room were shaking. And they go in there and they're like, stop it, Natalie, what are you doing? What are you doing? And she has blood all over her head, and they're like, what are you doing? Why are you smashing your head into the mirror? And she looks at them with wide eyes, almost, but they're lifeless. She looks at them and she goes, I don't want to be here anymore. I don't want you guys to be here anymore either. And they're like, what are you talking about? Be here, be in this city, be in this house. What are you talking about? And she goes, no, I don't want to be alive. I don't want you guys to be alive. And they're like, okay, we need to go to the doctor and call the cops because your head is bleeding. You've been smashing your head into your mirror. And she's like, just staring blankly at them. And they say, okay, we're going to the doctor. They try and grab her, and she goes, no, I'm not going anywhere. Natalie, we need to take you to the doctor right now. And as soon as they try and grab her again, it's almost like Natalie had this something come over her. She starts strangling her mom, and her dad tries to get her off. He's like, Natalie, what are you doing? Why are you strangling your mom? That's your mom. What are you doing? And as she's strangling her mom, she turns around to her dad, and in a deep, rumbly voice that's nothing like Natalie's voice, she goes, Natalie's not here anymore. He manages to get Natalie off her mom, and as soon as he does, all the lights go off. It gets dark. It gets really dark. Low grumbling starts, and Natalie's mom and dad are holding each other's hands, and they're like, Natalie, where'd you go? Natalie, where are you? And they hear this low grumbling noise. They're like, Natalie, I swear to God, get the lights on. What is going on? The grumbling noise stops. The mom takes out her phone and puts on her flashlight. And as soon as she turns on her flashlight, she sees Natalie laying on the ground, and there's a figure standing over her. Natalie looks unconscious, basically looks like she doesn't have much life left in her, and the figure turns with red glowing eyes and says, your daughter was a nice host for me, but she's dead now. You guys will be dead soon too. Alright, so that story was probably terrible. I did my best, but I don't know if it makes any sense at all. I feel like it didn't make any sense. I'll try and come up with one more story. There's this little boy named Trevor, He's a little odd. His parents are kind of neglectful. They don't really pay attention to him that much. And he starts getting these feelings, urges, that he can't explain. He doesn't know how to get rid of them. Only one thing helps though. And he found this out. He saw a stray cat, and the cat looked vulnerable. It looked weak. It didn't have a collar. He didn't think anyone was gonna miss it. And he killed it. He killed the cat. Oh, since his parents don't really pay attention to him, they're not necessarily abusive. They are just busy, and you know, they kind of regretted having a kid. They weren't in love with each other anymore. They were kind of stuck with each other. They didn't pay attention to him that much. He kept finding cats and other small animals that he would kill. And he would keep their bodies in the backyard, in the shed. Now, his parents never went in the shed because it was pretty much just storage stuff, so that they never went in there. And so he kept a bunch of dead animal bodies in his shed. I know, disgusting. One day he decided that killing these small animals was just not enough. It wasn't enough to satiate whatever feelings he was having. He comes up with a plan. There's this kid at school who no one really talks to, kind of seems like a loner, just like himself. He knows that his parents are a little neglectful as well, and he decides if this boy goes missing, yeah, people will look for him, but not that hard. His parents aren't super loving. He thinks his dad left him, and so he goes, yeah, this seems safe. I want to kill a person. What did I name him? Oh yeah, Trevor. And so Trevor comes up with this elaborate plan to kidnap this young boy after school. Now their school is right next to a forest, so it's pretty easy to kind of walk in there and not be seen. After school, this little boy is sitting alone, and Trevor comes up to him and he's like, hey, do you want to hang out? And the little boy, you know, being lonely and not really having any friends, goes, of course I do. Like, that sounds like fun. He goes, do you want to go into the forest? We can like explore and play games in there. And the little boy's like, okay, cool. That sounds awesome. They go into the forest right next to the school. And they're kind of deep in there at this point. They're exploring, you know, Trevor's acting like, you know, they're gonna be new best friends. Like they just found each other and they're gonna be BFFs. That's not the case though. And the little boy notices that Trevor's not around him anymore. And so he starts screaming for Trevor. He starts screaming, Trevor, Trevor, where are you? And Trevor is nowhere to be seen. And the little boy starts getting scared because he doesn't really know where they are. You know, they're in the forest, but they walked for a while and he doesn't know which direction is back to the school. He starts walking in a direction. He doesn't know if it's the right direction, but he figures he might as well just walk and try and figure out where the heck he is. He's still yelling Trevor. Trevor is still not answering. And so he's walking and he hears a snap behind him. Like someone stepped on a stick and it snapped. He turns around. There's no one there. He hears Trevor's voice all of a sudden. And Trevor goes, you were an easy target. You're my first. No one's gonna come looking for you. And at this point, the little boy's looking around and he still doesn't see Trevor, but he hears his voice. He's like, what the heck is going on? Like, Trevor, this isn't funny. Can you come out? Like, can you stop playing games? And Trevor goes, oh, this isn't a game. At least not for you. And at this point, you know, Trevor's kind of showing no remorse whatsoever for what he's about to do. And this is, you know, I'm sure you thought about this at the beginning, but this is the signs of a serial killer killing animals, and then his first victim is a vulnerable little boy. And so Trevor says, I'm gonna give you a head start, but as soon as I catch you, you're dead. Like, I'm going to kill you. Little boy starts sprinting as fast as he can. Trevor's behind him, you know, sprinting as fast as he can too. And eventually he catches up to the little boy, tackles him, and just stabs him repeatedly over and over and over again. So the little boy is now his first victim, and basically what this story is a serial killer in the making. And that's pretty much it. These stories are awful, I'm sorry. Thank you for getting ready with me. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, subscribe and comment if you want to see more. If you don't want to see more, you know. I hope you have a wonderful, beautiful day. Bye!